Hey everybody, it is me, Pacific. Was doing some thinking this week. I read some stuff online just last evening talking about the different ways the news networks dispense information. So I want to ask you viewers, I already know the answer to this, but I'm asking you. A lot of you viewers that watch my videos tend to agree with what I say. Maybe not on every point, but a lot. Is the news media in the United States biased? Do they have an agenda? And the answer is definitely yes. Even I got caught up in it. CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS is calling this a shutdown, government shutdown. 800,000 people sent home. But when you look at what it is, it's national parks, office workers, stuff like that. Then you turn on Fox News, and Fox News says really all it is a slim down. And it's interesting. Now, don't get me wrong, I love our national parks. But when we have a deficit that we have, maybe we ought to close some of those places. Maybe we ought to stop paying people the salaries we pay them. Just an opinion. When we have out of control government spending, and this whole session, the Senate and the House were supposed to come together to pass a bill that raised the debt ceiling. Why are we doing this? We're deeply in debt, but we got to raise it even more. So Washington is printing scads of money, and printing money just continues to devalue the dollar. It seems that our economy is artificially inflated already. But back to my point, rabbit trails aside, I saw a bumper sticker on a guy's truck at my workplace that said, "Turn off Fox News, bad for America." And I started thinking to myself, are you serious? This is not a plug-in infomercial for Fox News, but I am going to tell you that I have watched Fox News. I also grew up watching the major networks. People like Cokie Roberts, Diane Sawyer, Katie Couric, Barbara Walters. Who was that guy? That crusty guy at the end of 60 Minutes. Can't remember his name. Andy Rooney. They were flaming liberal. Fox News comes out and they start presenting a side of news that we weren't getting. When I dated a girl, she was convinced that the news she was getting on NPR, National Public Radio, was accurate. And I had to tell her, you know what? They're not. It is so subtle, but now it's become so blatant. And for anybody to sit there and tell me that Fox News is bad for America and then go back and watch all this other junk, CNN, ABC, CBS, ABC, NBC, and then what was the other one? PBS, NPR, and think that they don't have an agenda. You know, it's funny. Those organizations try to present the other side. They'll give a tidbit, but it's when they comment on things is where the real rubber meets the road. I was thinking the other day when I open up my Yahoo or anything and bombarded with all this information. McDonald's in Houston has put up a sign in the window that says no sagging allowed. They've mandated a policy saying that these punks that walk in with their butt crack showing and their underwear showing, they said no more. I'm glad. I agree with that. But then it's Kardashian or somebody's latest dress, hot dress, or, the celebs crap. We live in a world with big problems. And I know people say, well, Pacific, does the news all have to be bad? No, it doesn't. But I would ask people, why is it we're reporting on celebs' dress that they wore, or something they said, or something they did, or their new boyfriend? It is so junior high stupid. And then we wonder why American women are so grossly immature and man-hating and all that. And you look at what women are interested in, and it used to be said that women mature faster than boys. Maybe only in bodies, but certainly not up here today. You go through the checkout aisles and you look, they're not men's magazines. They're never men's magazines at the checkout aisles. You don't have Car and Driver and, you know, all that stuff. It's stuff that caters to women. Cleavage revealing Mademoiselle, the Cosmopolitan, Elle, and then the host of ragtag toilet paper material that Boston Globe, The National, and Lyre, and all those. People actually pay money for that stuff. This is an aside. But you know what? I was thinking, all the money that is thrown around in this country, why can't somebody give me some of that? It is amazing how much money people will waste on Joyce Myers, Joel Osteen, and by the way, did you guys like the spoof? Paige, you're awesome. Thank you so much. You do good work. And you know what? I'm guilty. I'm guilty thinking, what if somebody started pouring in that kind of money to you? I'd say, I'm not going to complain. And I'll tell you again, you guys will be seeing videos with palm trees in the background. And yes, I would update my system. I'd buy a video camera, I'd have somebody with me. There'd be no doubt in my mind that I'd have some brown-skinned, long-haired Asian beauty standing at my side and saying, guess what, honey? We're going to do videos together. You know, sadly, you stop and think about all the money that people throw at these, I'm sorry, people that don't deserve it. Joyce Myers, Joel Osteen, and a host of televangelists, celebrities, and stars. The amount of money they make, and then you look at how they live their lives and what they do with their lives, and it's ridiculous. I saw a classic the other day. Woman with a stroller and a baby, and her little sports bra and her sports attire, with a dog tied to the stroller, jerking and pulling one way, her pushing the stroller and jogging. I thought, okay, we're going to kill three birds with one stone. We're going to take the baby for a walk, take me for a jog, and run the dog. The dog almost pulled the stroller over, and then she's yelling at the dog, and I wanted to yell out the window, hey, stupid, maybe you shouldn't have the dog tied to the stroller and try to do all that. Not safe for the baby, but I know we can't tell you that. You're a woman, you know more than us men. Yesterday, driving my bus, going to turn a corner, woman's bound and determined. I come up to an intersection. She's not there yet, but she sees and starts running as fast as she can. She was already running. She's running a poodle. And the poodle gallops a little bit and stops and sniffs, jerks her, she stops. Big poodle. And I thought to myself, that ain't no running dog. I look at what women do, and I look at what they're saying about us, and I go, how come none of the guys are saying, woman, you're kind of stupid looking. You're kind of dumb. Your dressing is dumb. Your outfit is dumb. Yesterday, I wore to work what I call a Bill Cosby sweater. Black and green. Very nice looking, I thought. People were commenting on that, and I looked at the people at work that were commenting on my sweater. And you know what? They all wore dowdy, colorless clothes. We got people that work for us that got skulls tattooed all down their shoulder, all different colors, skulls all over themselves, skull shirts, skull earrings. all kinds of skull stuff. And I don't dress magnificently or professionally. I just dress pretty casually but clean, except when I'm working or my pajama stuff here. Pajamas, night clothes, I'd like to call them. Is the media biased? You better believe it is. When you turn on Good Morning America and you see all these, sorry, but sad Americans standing in the background holding up their sign where they're from, wanting the camera to get a glimpse of them, I used to think that stuff was cool. And then I look at it and go, that's really pathetic. These shows have generated their own culture. These shows have become so important in the lives of many Americans, and I look at it, I call it dust in the wind. No offense to my friends that live in New York City. I always was enamored with New York City. A 19-year-old woman wrote me. I'm telling you guys this because young people are watching. And as many times as I've said the young people are no good, there's a remnant of young people out there that are thinking, that are watching what is going on in the adult world and the news and around them, and they're tired of the hypocrisy and the liberal spin and the garbage. And there's a few of us in our 40s and 50s and 30s and 20s that are sick of the crap. Start doing something, because the young people need leaders and they're not getting them today. By the way, the woman was Hispanic and white mix. She's watched my videos. She has no problem with my videos, and she goes, I like what you're doing. She goes, it makes me so happy to see this. I'm paraphrasing now. She said, and many people said, I thought I was the only one seeing all this stuff. And I'm being told over and over that people are glad that they're hearing the truth, that I'm bringing up these issues in America. You know, when I started this, I thought I was going to get shut down. I thought people were going to go, this guy's an idiot. Well, I'm getting those too. Let me tell you some of the comments people leave. Effing moron, loser, geek, nerd. You're ignorant. You don't tell me how I'm ignorant. Now I'm going to sound like Andy Rooney here. Remember Andy Rooney, how crusty he could be? He was the last hurrah in 60 Minutes. He would commentate on something. Sometimes I liked the guy. He had something intelligent to say, but he was flaming liberal. But he'd have that crusty demeanor and those little eyes, you know. And people leave very rude comments. And I'm guilty of leaving some back and say, you know what? I think you're the blankety blank moron. You have no picture posted in your profile. You have no videos that you're making. And you've offered nothing intelligent to refute anything I've said. You better grab your box of pull-ups and leave the debate for the adults and go back to your playpen. 9 times out of 10, they don't show up again. You want to know how to deal with internet trolls? You stand up to them and you show them you're not afraid, because they hide behind a monitor. Again, they're chickens of the internet. But when you put yourself out there, you're going to have a target on your back. Another guy that's been dogging me a little bit, he said, oh, you're a coward, you blocked me. He didn't put that on one of my sites. He piggybacked off a comment I left on another site. I wrote him and said, the reason you're blocked is when you say F-tard and F-you, moron, and stuff like that. I'm not going to listen to that. He was quiet for a while. Then last night he piggybacked on a comment I made on another video. Not mine, somebody else's. And I went in and reported it as spam. I thought, you know what? I can, by the way, viewers, if you leave a comment on another site and somebody responds to that comment, it's horrible. Like one of my YouTube friends out there, he leaves a comment. I went in and reported it as spam, and it's out. Because he's responding to my comment, I can still remove it. even though it's on somebody else's site. I like that. Stand up to these trolls. They're losers. They don't offer anything intelligent to say. Or I love the people that write me books back telling me all this stuff that I don't get. Can I say something? I know I don't get a lot of stuff, but I also get a lot of stuff as well. I don't need a book. If you don't agree with the video, give me your quick little bullet points as to why. And if you've got something intelligent to say, I'll write you back and say, hey, good point. And I've done that. I have viewers who can testify to that fact. I'm not bulletproof. And I'm not afraid of anybody, but I'm not going to listen to some schmuck on the internet telling me all kinds of stupid comments about my dorky glasses and this and that. Hey, you know what? It takes a whole world to make a whole bunch of people to make a world. And the thing is, if you don't like looking at somebody with thick glasses, move on. Another person who doesn't look at the heart of what I'm saying, they want to comment on my looks. Those are designed to hurt. Now, what does this all have to do with the media? Seems that the media has been a rallying cry. The media gets behind our colleges. The media gets behind our materialism. The media gets behind Hollywood. Hollywood pretty much owns the media. They're hand in glove. The gays own the media. The rich, stuck up, rude people own the media. And what's happening is more and more Americans are becoming the very thing, the very statement, garbage in, garbage out. Have you guys noticed the anathema and the hatred and the contempt people have for conservatives? Look at Cokie Roberts and her husband, liberal to the core. They had editorial pieces and papers. I don't mean to be rude, but have you ever read your local rag paper? I don't even read the paper anymore. I used to read letters to the editor, and I'd get so fired up. I was always in the controversy. But then you see these liberal contributors, and you look at their name, Frankenmuth hyphen Ding Dong Snorf, and you look and go, gosh, what a stupid name. And you look at liberals at large, and you look at their names, and you look at how they want to have their flair out there, and you just go, you know, it's funny, they're mocking us, but you look at them, you look at the way they're dressed, you look at a woman like Hillary Clinton, I'm sorry, I think she was prettier in her younger days. She is not pretty now. She looks like a battle axe, and she can go to the paint shop all she wants. It isn't going to improve her. What is it about liberals when you really step outside them? They're not that pretty. But the news in America feels we need to know about Mariah Carey or Brad Pitt or George Clooney or whoever the latest is and their dress faux pas and their fashion disaster. Does the media spin? Yes. Has the media had a problem with Fox News? If you want to read a little about that, read Bill O'Reilly's book, Who's Looking Out for You? Bill O'Reilly talks about how they reacted to Fox News. First, they laughed it off. Well, they're not laughing anymore. The liberal media hates Fox News. The liberal media would love to censor and shut them down. Why? Because they're telling the truth. Millions of Americans saw Fox News come on the scene and they said, I am done looking at the networks. I would even challenge every reader in the U.S. that's a conservative, stop buying your local city's newspaper. It's a waste of time. Is there spin in the media? Yes, there is. Is Fox News guilty of spin? Not to the degree that the liberal networks are. I believe that they're more accurate than what we've been getting spoon-fed for years. But a guy left one of the networks, came over to Fox News. He was hired, I think it was by ABC. Every time he'd speak, they'd shut him down. He was hired by him, and he never complained, he never said anything, but he was finally wooed over by Fox News, and I thought, good, he belongs over there anyway. If you are conservative, if you are a Christian, you want to talk about affirmative action, guys and gals, go up to ABC News and ask how many white men they hire that hold to a conservative, God-fearing viewpoint, and the numbers will startle you. Colleges push stuff that the media pushes that we are told over and over. The biggest drum that is beat: go to college, go to college, go to college. Obama's doing it. That's why Obama doesn't care if he sticks bills to us hardworking people. He believes if you didn't go to college, you're SOL, tough luck. I'm going to say it again about college. College and universities are money-making institutions. They do not have your best interest at heart. They do not give you job placement as a rule. You get your degree and they go, bye-bye, and you're on your own. And then you get out there and go, oh, I'm hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt and I can only get a $10 an hour job. Why? Because that degree you got, you still have no experience, or the field you went after evaporated. Funny, the government doesn't want to do anything about that now, do they? They don't want to say, you need to make college more affordable. And you need to start offering degrees that are legit and right now fields. Colleges aren't held accountable by Obama. And if you think I'm joking around, they push college. They scream that only going to college makes you successful. They did a write-up on a plumber. He gets out of apprentice training, goes into plumbing. He can make $35 an hour. A college grad won't even be making that until many years later. And you look at a lot of jobs on the internet that require a college degree, and guess what the starting pay is? $14 an hour. Really? I started making money at $14.51 an hour. Now I'm at $15.18 an hour driving a bus. I'm going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars so I can get a $14 an hour job? Duh. I don't think so. Okay, so how do I make $20 an hour? $25 an hour. Well, if I'd have joined the unions way back when, you could have moved up. And yet, there's a ton of people making $50, $60, $100,000 a year. I see them every day on the roads. They're idiots. And I see Beamers and Lexus and Mercedes and Audis and an occasional Saab. Has anybody heard that Saab stopped making cars? I thought somebody told me that they're done. I thought Saabs were ugly anyway. They look like somebody ran into the back end of them or something. It's kind of like that Cadillac that came out with in the 80s where the back end was slanted forward. It's like, okay. You know what? College is a racket. I believe in trade tech. Trade tech gives you hands-on training, heating and air conditioning, stuff that you can use. People that need this stuff every day, truck driving school, whatever, those things give you something. They give you a skill. College today is recalibrating everybody's mind, not actually recalibrating it. They're recalibrating it to the liberal agenda. Comment was made by a friend of mine last night. He said, do you notice whenever Obama's giving a speech, it's all young university students? And I said, yeah, because they don't know a dang thing. You talk to the average U student, they think they know everything. But listen to them. They're all pro-environment, pro-abortion, pro-gay, and anti-this, anti-that. Where did all that come from? Our media. But the media is the biggest hypocrite and the biggest elephant in the room because they promote materialism. They promote the SUVs. They promote the gas guzzling stuff. And yet they're the same ones decrying the environment and saying global warming and giving Al Gore a group hug, and you listen to this crap and you go, are you serious? The average American today cannot decipher between what he's watching all day. Blitzkrieg with SUV ads, showing drivers drive like idiots on those ads. We've been told this over and over, and then we wonder why they get in their cars, back out in front of traffic. People honk, out comes the middle finger. These people are all liberals. Now, I'm not saying conservatives don't use a finger and drive like idiots. I've seen that too. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing the bumper sticker. My son is an honor student, and I want to slap a bumper sticker underneath it. My dad is a bad driver. I'm glad I make some of those and literally slap them on cars when nobody's looking. My son is an honor student. My daughter's an honor student. My dad's a rude, discourteous, lawless driver. I don't care if your son's an honor student. Every day on the radio, one of the schools, the one where this idiot caused road rage, it says school bus parking only for a block. They've made an area at the school where you can pull off the street, off Syracuse Street, and go into this big oval, roll in, drop your kid off, roll out, and get back out. It's very convenient. But do the parents use it? The buses are not allowed to go in there, but the parents, some use it, but they all line up on that curb, and the buses come up honking, and they just sit there, brazen and indifferent, and won't move, flipping drivers off. And I am going to go to my supervisor this week and say, can we do something about this? Can we call the Denver Police Department and tell them to get some cruisers out there and just start ticketing? And when they start doing that for a couple of days, that people are going to get the message, don't do that. But we don't. We have problems in the U.S. and we do nothing about it. And then we're told now, don't honk at them. They might get mad. They're breaking the law. We can't unload our students safely. Pacific is about resolution. I talk about this stuff in my videos. Some wag wrote me with a Uncle Sam avatar for his profile. It says, you're always negative. No, our society is always negative. The people that make the big money and drive like jerks and cut me off in their very nice car versus my 18-year-old truck or me driving a bus, that's negative. I'm sick and tired of adults lying to us and controlling the consumeristic blitzkrieg advertising push that tells everybody what you must have to be successful, cool, and suave. I'm tired of people that still want to tell children that Santa Claus exists, and the same people tell people that college is the only way out, that evolution is true, and that God is dead, and God is for fools, and silly, and mythological BS. I'm tired of people lying to us when they have no factual evidence whatsoever to support evolution. I'm tired of the media spin doctoring the news, but yet telling us very loudly that Hollywood, that pro sports, that people with big money, they're the important ones, and the rest of us, the greeter at Walmart, the school bus driver, the guy doing framing, the guy mixing concrete and pouring sidewalks, we're not important. I'm tired of that. The Bible says, let a man work with his own hands, that he may also give to those who are in need. Folks, there's nothing wrong with a hard day's work. I'm tired of society saying, oh, she worked so hard on her degree. She got deeply in debt. She spent 4 years in college drinking and partying and studying and got her degree. And now we're going to see what she's going to do in the real world. I've been working my butt off for years, and nobody says a word about that. I've been dealing with the rudeness of Americans all my life on the road. Where's my accolades? Where's the people standing up and saying, my gosh, I can't believe you survived this long without taking your bus and slamming it into these fools? You see, our society's got it all wrong. We laugh at the idea of working at McDonald's, but it's a job. And if you go there, do it well and smile. Hi, may I take your order, please? You can't even get that from today's lovely little stuck-up princess women. You know what? Don't ever let somebody look down on you for your job. It's a job. Go there until you find something better. Be innovative, start your own company, whatever you got to do. College is not the answer. And I do not believe in getting in debt for 15, 20, 30 years just to the hopes of making big money. What is motivating people to go to college today? The love of money. Girl told me yesterday, I pulled a $1 and I said, I like this stuff. And she goes, the love of money. She said, that's the root of all evil. I said, the money is not the root of all evil. The love of it is. Kids go to college in hopes of pulling down the big money. So far, the people that pull down the big money, I'd say 99% of them are not the kind of people I want to hang out with, because they become arrogant, they become self-assured and smug, and then they look at the rest of us and think, you only drive a bus. Let me remind you, little smart Alex out there, that I only drive a bus, and then I watch you who went to college and make the big money, and you behave worse than the children on my school bus in traffic. I really am starting to see adults as toddlers in the way they drive. I've said this before, so we won't elaborate. They really act like toddlers. Yesterday, a garbage truck was driving erratically in the right lane, pulling over, stopping. I go to pass it. He guns it, speeds forward after the guy in the back throws the trash in. I thought, okay, we got a garbage truck playing games. So I moved over a few inches, encroaching on the other lane, but I saw my mirror. There's plenty of room. This little white car, he's speeding, right? I'm going 30, and he's laying on the horn as he's jetting past me. And I'm thinking, this is America, the hypocrites. Everybody thinks they're a good driver, even though they're breaking the law. He was behind me when I was going 30. I put my four-ways on, shifted over a foot where he still could stay in his lane, laying on the horn and speeding. You can't communicate to Americans. Do you know that you were not going the speed limit and you could have very easily gotten by him anyway? And what is your problem? Americans have been taught by our media that they're right. Don't let anybody trample on your rights. You speak your mind, you stand up, you raise your little fist in the air, and you flex your wiener. Sorry, I came up with that saying the other day. Some dude in a contractor pickup, business on the side, starts running a red light from a side street onto a major arterial that I'm on. Almost pulls out. In fact, he pulls his bumper out into the intersection. Car slams on its brakes. He slams on his brakes. And I'm watching this. I'm in the middle lane. I'm coming. And then this guy in his diesel doofus pickup guns it, pulls out, encroaching on my lane at a breakneck speed. I hit the horn. And I'm like, good grief. Then suddenly he's getting his blinker on and he's going to get around me. And I thought, oh, wow, she's going to flex his wiener to let him know that he's a man. He didn't do it. He finally got in the left lane, jetted around me, then no turn signal, went to the left lane. And I thought, contractor pickup. We are the professionals at cabinet installation. Yeah, I see you're a professional driver too. There's a disconnect in our American society. People don't think that their actions matter. I'm so sick of seeing on the back of the truck, contact the Better Business Bureau about us to see about our great reputation. And then I watch their drivers and I go, okay, let's see, you do heating and cooling. You drive like an idiot. I wonder what kind of a job I'm going to get in my house. Is the media biased? You better believe it is. It's been pushing materialism. It's been pushing SUVs. It's been pushing big corporations, and then they turn around conveniently and say the Republicans are all about big money, big oil, and big corporations. Well, guess what? The Democrats are too. Do we not just see Obama mandate that everybody buy health insurance, thus paying big corporations, HMOs, and affordable? My butt. I am angry because I'm tired of the lies by adults. I'm tired of women thinking and pretending they're so much more mature, talking in fake little voices to the children. And then we wonder why our society is. So this lady writes me, telling me about New York City. She said it has become so liberal. And it is. You know, I used to think New York is cool. And a writer wrote me, and it's got me thinking, said, you know, you seem like an honest guy. You talk about traffic. You seem like you're probably made more for a small town than a big city. Viewer, thank you for that comment because I'm starting to realize something. I think I'm going to have to look at that, provided I can get a job. I don't like what's going on, and I believe that the big cities in America have become havens for liberals and anti-conservatives and people who don't give a damn. And I know that my utopia is not this earth, but yes, if I had a better opportunity to live somewhere else and make a sustainable living. And that's the other thing that the media has done and the consumer culture has done. They've driven up the prices of everything that for me on my income to go out and pay full rent and Obamacare's lovely, cheap, affordable package at $4,000, I cannot afford an apartment just on that alone. Plus, I have to have a truck or a car because the bus just doesn't work for me. I don't mean to say this, but that city bus is heavily subsidized by the government, and then the fares are ridiculous. You're looking at $2 to go one way now. And then you got to walk from here 4 blocks down a road with no sidewalks where people hit the slush and splash you, and you're right on the curb. And then you get down here and wait in the cold for a bus, and the bus stops at every block, and it takes you 30 minutes. What would take me 5 minutes in my pickup, and I go, the bus? Are you serious? At least when I lived in Hong Kong, you get on that bus, and that bus goes. You know, I'll tell you something. I believe that the media is trying to destroy conservative people, God-fearing people, tear down good, solid Bible-preaching churches, tear down the American hard worker that's not making big money and just trying to survive. Folks, those of you that are older than me, go back in the 70s. You know, you could go to the Oregon coast and buy a shack for next to nothing and live right on the beach. And you could pick up a job in that town if you were safe and you were honest, people would hire you and you could make it. Those days are gone, man. They're gone. In the 70s, you could hitchhike across this country. People were still pretty dang good in this country. Kind. Helped you. If you showed initiative, they said, hey, you know, I got a place you can stay and you want to help me around the farm, I'll pay you good income. There's a few of those out there, but most of them are gone. The media is biased. It has affected us all. And I'm going to tell you something. It is depressing. Is Pacific negative? Yeah, it seems like it. I'm not being negative. I'm just simply commenting on the junk that's going on that's negatively affecting me and millions of other Americans. The reason I mention Hispanic white girls is because I talk about racial issues, and for all these little trolls out there that want to accuse me of racist, I got a plethora of comments writing back and saying these people calling you racist are truly ignorant. You start speaking the truth about the garbage going on in one camp or another, and they label you as racist. That's their out. That's another thing our media has done. You start calling homosexuality a sin, and you're labeled a homophobe. Who started that? American media. And I'm sorry, I don't put much stock in most university children. Their minds have been bought and controlled by the media and by the anti-establishment people that are all about filling their minds with all kinds of rot. Most university students are running off and getting a degree and getting drunk and having multiple partners, same-sex, bisex, everything. And these are the people that are going to lead our next new brave world. Now, there are some people going to college. One of them I know is going into criminal justice. Good field. We need people to get out there, but not everybody's called to go to college. And a lot of students who go to college are dumber than a stump. They're activists and they're anti-this and anti-that. They themselves don't even know why, because they've been under the cultural grid of the American media, and that includes the Hollywood, all that. It's funny. Conservatives need to start asking themselves a question. Why are we supporting Hollywood in any way, shape, or form? Talking about some good actor, and I want conservative people to start looking at Hollywood and ask a question: why aren't we turning it off? Hollywood is not interested in a conservative agenda or a God-fearing agenda. They're interested in pushing the envelope constantly towards more sleaze, more barbaric behavior, more illicit sex, more drug use, more violence, more smoking. It's all part of the plot. And I don't care what anybody says, but you look at the rock stars in American culture, they're slutty, they're trashy, they're losers. And we've elevated them on a pedestal and they're making big fat sums of money. And as my spoof said, I don't have a book to sell, by the way. It is disgusting watching American people today and what they'll throw money at. They'll throw money at Joyce Myers. They'll throw money at these divas in Hollywood or the media and the rock star industry. And they'll get behind all this consumeristic crap that they don't need and buy into the lie of getting a standard four-door car or a pickup truck, that we've got to have a $65,000 SUV to show off. People ask me, you always mention this. I always mention it because it seems that that's all there is to the American cultural foundation today. SUVs, pets, women-hating men, liberal agenda. I don't see any passion, any inspiration or excitement out there. I see this grid imposed and forced on us, and it's oppressive. Somebody asked me, did you feel uncomfortable in Hong Kong because they all worship idols? I said, you know what? That black cloud that hangs over me never was there. The minute I return to America's shores, I feel it. There is more idolatry and more Satanism and satanic thinking going on in this country than there is in China. We've been conditioned to think communism is so evil, and it is. But you know what? Communism doesn't endorse Hollywood. Did you know that? Communism doesn't like the sleaze and the filth coming out of our American culture. Muslims don't like the sleaze and filth coming out of our culture. And Americans have been conditioned to say, well, Muslims are evil, they blow us up. Well, they believe in a false religion. Allah does not exist. We don't need to argue with a Muslim. Allah does not exist. It was a imaginative thing made up by Muhammad. Muhammad took an 8-year-old girl from parents and made her his wife. That is sick. That's messed up. We're going to listen to a guy like that. We're going to listen to Joseph Smith of Mormonism. Let's talk about lying, shall we? Let's talk about spin doctrine. Have you ever seen the Mormon commercial and how glossy and how they look so hallmarky and friendly? And then at the very end, it's like getting sucker punched. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And you go, oh. Did you know Mormons host dances and listen to all the secular music that we do? Did you know that? Mormons claiming to be Christians, they use profanity. They wear t-shirts and stuff promoting some sleazy rock band. And Mormons always tout themselves as so family and so we follow the teachings of Jesus. And when it got right down to it, I found they don't. They're not Christians. Joseph Smith was a troubled little boy that didn't make it past a 4th grade education. And his father had a reputation in the town of being a cheater and a swindle, selling people bogus treasure maps. Joseph Smith doing weird things, putting his bowler hat or his stovepipe hat over his head and telling his secretary what he was seeing. God came and told him, of all people, that all religions were wrong and he was to start another church. We're going to be doing a promo for South Park's The Book of Mormon. Love the little thing. Dumb, dumb, dumb. I'm glad South Park did that. I don't like South Park. I think South Park is stupid. But I give them credit for doing this because you know what? Everybody's so afraid they want to be politically correct. Mormonism needs to be exposed at all levels. So does Jehovah's Witnesses. So does the Catholic Church. So does all this other crap out there that we've been taught. They claim to have their corner on the truth. No, they don't. This book is true, and it is attacked at every level. Joseph Smith was what we would call a troubled kid. People say, well, you're troubled. Yes, I am. I grew up with a bad childhood, but I'm not out there starting a religion. I'm not out there encouraging polygamy. I'm not out there encouraging racism. Joseph Smith was guilty of all three. The white delightsome skin, read it yourself. Mormonism is an elitist religion that caters to comfortable, middle-class people that show prejudice and discrimination against non-Mormons. If you don't believe me, go live in Utah and go move to these small towns. I've heard story after story and personally witnessed stuff with the Mormon community that is just atrocious. All they've done is, under the veneer of religion and naming their church the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It is not the Church of Jesus Christ. They are not Latter-day Saints. They're modern-day wolves. And they tout family. Start doing some digging and read about the statistics of alcoholism in Utah. The number of views of porn was the highest in the state of Utah. For those of you that have been through Utah that are not Mormon, I've heard many tell me, close friends tell me, I felt very uncomfortable in that state. Like it was weird there. I said, well, it is weird. You believe came from the planet Kolob and that a woman's going to be eternally pregnant? Now, there's a religion that I'm surprised that the feminists haven't jumped and screamed and yelled about. That a woman's going to be eternally pregnant while the man gets to go and Humpty Dumpty her for the rest of eternity. You would think the women in that church, it's not even a church, that establishment would wake up. Joseph Smith stole all the Masonic symbols. But America peddles lies. The New Age movement, Shirley MacLaine standing on the beach saying, I am God, with her nipples poking through her shirt. Americans believe more crapola. They'll read the daily horoscopes. They'll read the National Enquirer. They'll turn on ABC News, and they go home every day smug and going, I did my job. I paid my bills. I'm a good citizen. These people are scary. They have been brainwashed and bought. And Americans, by and large, don't care about all the sleaze out there. They love Hollywood. If you don't believe me, start doing some research on the number of Americans that buy cable television and how much they pay a month. It's about $100 a month. $60 to $100 a month for cable. Do you know how much money you can save if you stop buying iPhones? Stop buying $5 coffee? Drink more water? Soda pop. You know how much money is wasted in soda pop? There's no nutritional value to soda pop whatsoever. I could go on and on. The reason I'm able to save money in the bank is because Pacific learned a long time ago to streamline and say, I don't need all this crap. I save a lot of money right there. And guess what? Life is still not easy. I don't save as much as I'd like to because the cost of living has gone up. From Mormonism to PBS to NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, NPR, to the belief that Santa Claus exists, and we keep telling our children that lie, and the Tooth Fairy, and all this other crapple, and the Easter Bunny, to Jehovah's Witness, to the New Age movement. By the way, a long time ago, we all said New Age is an old lie. Know you not, you shall be as God, knowing good and evil. It's the same lie repackaged. New Age. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I burned my bra, I smoked a joint, having illicit sex, went to Woodstock, there were dirty diapers, and BO and hairy underarms all around in a mud bath with rain falling. And we look back on Woodstock, not me, I didn't go, but they look back on it and go, that was great, man. But you talk to people that grew up and say it was disgusting, man. And yet there's people who take their VW bus every year and make a pilgrimage to that place. It was a freaking orgiastic, brothel, disgusting mess. And we look back on this stuff. We look at Ted Nugent. We look at Grateful Dead. These people died without any hope. The 60s was rebellion, and we romanticize that. Lies. That's all we're getting in this country. Lies, lies, lies. To get to the bottom of truth takes study, reading good books, reading books about Catholicism, reading books about Mormonism, not that those people put out. My brother-in-law told me, if you want to know what a Mormon believes, ask a Mormon. I thought, it doesn't work. History tells us that Joseph Smith believed in polygamy, but today's Mormons deny it. So ask a Mormon. Those are called progressive religions. When you're a newbie to the Mormon church, they don't tell you all this stuff. When you get deeper into it and you're sworn to secrecy, then you start learning stuff. Let me tell you, Mormon men that are higher up, they're scary people. They will kill you and dump your body on the side of the road and get away with it. They're not Christian men. They're not showing the kindness and grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. They're an elitist group, and they do weird things. The higher up into the religion they go. The temple stuff is nothing short of bizarre, freaky, weird, and satanic. Mormon Church is a good poster cover-up for the perfect, idealistic little happy family in their lovely middle-class house. That is a sham. It is sending people to hell. The liberal media is sending people to hell. It is dumbing us down. It is making, look at soap operas. The media condones that too. But the media decries the conservatives standing up and saying we don't believe in Obamacare, and they vilify us and monsterify us, while right on the pile that they're sitting on, the media moguls are sitting on filth, sexual degradation, teen porn, and all that. And the media would say, we don't support it. Oh, yes, you do, under the name of freedom of speech. What is the media doing to shut down pornography? Nothing. The American women that hate men, they have no problem in supporting a woman's right to be a prostitute or to sell her body. The hypocrisy of Americans is so huge. I'm done with my rant. The American media has bought and owned most of this country, and we wonder why our economy is going down. We wonder why we're getting dumber and dumber, why people pull out in front of you when a 40-foot bus going 55 and they pull out in front of you and they can't figure out why you honk the horn. Dude, you could get killed. Are you watching a movie? This isn't a movie, this is real. Steel going bam into your little Geo Metro. People have lost their minds. And I watched a video series years ago by Moody Bible Institute that traced these cultures like in Africa that are very primitive and barbaric, and they traced them back to what they started as, smart, civilized, but because they were pagan, they went down, down, down. We're seeing that in America right now. People don't love goodness and value and quality. The only value they're after is mortgages and property buying and junk like that. But real lasting value, Americans love filth. Look at the views on YouTube for trash, cussing, and nudity. Way up there. Look at the views for people like me. Way down there. People tune into Joyce Myers. People tune into Osteen. They'll tune into all these other charlatans, wolves in sheep's clothing, and liars. Yes, if you're a Mormon in Utah, you can do very well. If you kiss butt and you behave, you can get promoted right on up. Make good money. Mormonism is a very good religion if you know the right people. The Bible says, what does it profit a man if he gain the whole world yet forfeit his own soul? You know what? Don't believe the lies out there, people. We all watch YouTube, we watch this, we watch that, but take the time to read some good books and some exposés on this stuff and the history. Read about the Mormon Church's attempt to buy up archives and records from Nauvoo, Illinois, trying to destroy and shred everything so that there be no record of Joseph Smith's tattered life and his tattered, messed up family, who was loathed and despised in Nauvoo. Joseph Smith was driven from one place to another, and they considered that the martyr complex, because if you look in Scripture, that the church, the Christians, were scattered. That's because they were telling the truth. But in American history at the time, people had no tolerance for this buckstart that showed up out of nowhere, that people just looked at his own village and said, nobody likes him there. He's a loser. And he peddled this crap, and they were driven to Utah because Utah was the only place where a bunch of white people weren't living where they could flourish. No brainer there. Meanwhile, the Christians were scattered back into communities to tell the truth. Nobody wanted to hear Joseph Smith's bullcrap. That's all it was. Read about the Mormon massacres on the way out there. It's disgusting, man. The Mormon Church, I have more of a problem with the Mormon Church than I do talking to Muslims. I will have a Muslim be courteous to me. We will agree to disagree. But Mormons are arrogant. They lie and call themselves Christians. They lie and tell us they follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. And there is nowhere in Scripture that teaches you are gods. That's not apostrophe S. We are mortals. Mormonism is the lie of the garden. Know ye not that you shall be as God, knowing good and evil? Jesus did not. God did not have sex with Mary, according to Mormons. Mormons believe that God had sex with Mary. They believe that Jesus is the brother, the half-brother of Lucifer. Really? Why am I attacking Mormonism? You think that Mormons aren't part of the media? You'd better believe it. You think that Mormons don't have huge financial holdings in everything from Marriott to Safeway to Albertsons to on and on and on, and PepsiCo? Huge. By the way, they're against caffeine, and yet they've got huge shares in caffeinated beverage companies. I could go on and on. It's disgusting. Americans have built almost everything on a lie today. And fruit is starting to show up. And if we don't start speaking out against it, if we don't start collectively making a loud voice, people will continue to slip into hell and believe all this crap. My channel is dedicated to truth. Thank you for watching. This is Pacific signing off. Bye-bye.